always on the phone for you in the office. So I went out to the production office, which was this production office. It was a room with a table and a phone. And I said, yeah, what's going on? And he said, oh, you're sitting down. I said, well, I am now. And he said he just found out that the show had been put on hiatus again. And it was completely out of the blue, because both of us had been optioned for the next series. So he was optioned for the whole of the next series, and I had an option to leave halfway through. And so as far as we knew, we were just going to carry on. So yeah, it was a real shock, and the only person who knew while we were filming was John Nathan Turner, and I think that was absolutely right of him not to let us know, because can you imagine? It would have been incredibly demoralising if we all knew, and it was just. And then I got a letter from him to confirm that a few days later. And yeah, it was just really sad. I mean, both of us, luckily, Sylvester and I, we've never really been stuck for work, which is incredible. But it was just very sad because we just enjoyed it so much. We just loved making the show. And also those amazing people, makeup, costume, visual effects, the crew, they loved making it too, because for costume and makeup and visual effects, it was a chance to really show what they could do. They hadn't really got any other shows like that at the BBC. For example, visual effects were mostly making things like fires burn in Victorian fireplaces. They weren't coming up with a blimmin' massive explosion to blow up a cyber ship, or so yeah, it was very much missed.
And there were all sorts of plans for what would happen with the character of Ace and what other stories would be told in the next series, weren't there? Are there any that you feel you wish you got the chance in particular to make?
Yeah, I did like the idea of Ace going to Gallifrey, because I think she'd have just been so bolshy, wouldn't she? She'd have hated the Time Lords and thought they were all really stuffy and boring. That would have been fun. But I also, when I first heard the line in the Sarah Jane Adventures that Dorothy was running this charity called A Charitable Earth, I thought, oh, that's a bit lame, Dorothy running a charity. And then I thought more about it, and I thought, do you know what? It would be great, because it would be like, probably she'd have her own sort of Millennium Falcon sort of bashed up type spaceship and her own team, and she'd be going around like Greenpeace do, doing all that direct action stuff. She'd be hanging off the back of rusty old spaceships and things, helping people, and yeah, that would have been fun.
You mentioned Sarah Jane Adventures there. Is it true that there were plans to get Ace into that show before Elizabeth Sladen sadly passed away?
Yes, apparently Russell, I'd not met Russell T Davies until this summer. And I went to see him do a talk in Edinburgh about his career, which is absolutely fantastic. And then I found somebody gave me his text, his number, and I thought, oh, it's a bit rude if you just text Russell T Davies. Anyway, I did. I sent him a text and I said, oh, I'm coming to see you as a birthday treat. Any chance we could meet up afterwards, because I've not met you. And within about 30 seconds I had this text back going, yes, of course. Are you sure you won't want me as your birthday treat? You don't want to go and see Aladdin or something good? I said, no, I definitely want to go and see you. And he was brilliant, of course. And then we did meet up the following day and just had an hour or so having tea together. And he said, yes, that the Sarah Jane Adventures, they always loved having the old companions back, like with Joe Grant coming back, and I was going to be the next one. And you'd see this sports car, which again we put in the book, the sports car come up to the front of Sarah Jane's house, and then you'd see the door open and these sort of, smart suited, you'd see from the back this smart person in a smart suit get out. And then you'd see, from Sarah Jane's point of view, her front door would open and it would be me, as I am now, and she'd say, you know, like something like, "I've come to help," or something like that. And he said, "But don't worry, she'd soon get her Doc Martens back on and be running around bashing up Daleks with her again." So yeah, and sadly that was not to be, and it was. Liz and I got on very, very well ever since we first met each other. At the, I don't know whether anybody here used to go to any of the Cafe Munchin things with media bands and Doctor Who magazine back in the day in London, and we met at a Doctor Who magazine party there in an upstairs room. It was absolutely packed, and she spotted me and I spotted her across the crowded room, and we both made our way towards each other because she was one of my childhood companions. We threw our arms around each other, and I said, "Oh, I think you're amazing, I used to love watching you," and she said, "I think you're amazing, you're doing such a great job with Ace." And that was it. Our friendship was formed forever. So I was really gutted at not having had the chance to actually work with her, because that would have been incredible.
Yeah, we had her on here, I can't remember what year it was. She was wonderful, she's lovely. So I'm going to ask what everyone wants to know. Is there any plans for you to be in the new series?
Sadly, no, not yet. I actually am. I think it's a bit of an Ace time, don't you? With the trailer and the book and everything. So I'm doing my best. I'm going to try and persuade people that the powers that be, that it would be a jolly good idea. So yeah, watch this space. It'd be good.
Well, we've just got a couple of quick fire ones left, and then we'll open it out. So, what was the most fun story to film, and why? Do you watch them back?
Yeah, I do. It's funny. I don't have any trouble about watching myself back. I think because I don't associate that with myself, and I think it's a really good learning tool as well to be able to see how, you know, how you're doing. The most fun, gosh, they were all really good fun because the casts were great fun to be with. I think I enjoyed most of all the Curse of Fenric that we saw earlier, even though it wasn't really fun because it was raining and muddy, and it was. Then I had to dive into Lulworth Cove in April, which is a cold water bay, absolutely freezing, nearly got hypothermia, and anyway, that doesn't sound fun at all, does it? But it was just, I really enjoyed everything that Ace was given to do in that, you know, the range of the acting and the emotions, and also the cast was particularly good. And well, they were all good though. No,
it felt like a movie, that one, I thought.
Yeah, and it still holds up, I think, and the story really works as well. I think the location stories I enjoyed doing them more because you had to go away and be with everybody, and there was more sort of bonding that went on.
Quick fire question: what would your dream role be?
Ace.
Should we open it out?
Yeah, why not?
Let's. Anyone got any questions? Preferably it isn't too far away because the radio mic's screwed.
Yeah, sure.
So where are you?
Yeah, you've recently been in a Big Finish audio drama, Dark Universe, I think it's called, which is set in a similar time in your life to the book. Was there any sort of crossover when you were writing it and knowledge of the other?
Not really, no. It's very bizarre. It's all these things have happened at the same time, and everybody's had roughly the same idea. So yeah, it was just brilliant doing Dark Universe because I know Mark Bonner very well, who plays the 11. He also plays Twigs in Three Fu Tom. He took over when David Tennant got too busy to do it. Mark took over, and he's a very good sort of David Tennant soundy like. So yeah, Mark and I have worked together a lot. And he lives in the next village to me as well, so it's always a joy to work with him. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He's a fantastic actor in everything he does. And yeah, so there was no crossover, no, which is bizarre, isn't it? Because it is a sort of similar kind of idea.
Oh, cool, anyone else?
the difference between recording for a Big Finish audio and recording for a TV show, which do you prefer and why?
Oh, I really enjoy both. Big Finish, you don't have to learn your lines, so that's an advantage. And you've probably heard about these amazing lunches. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. However, you don't get the kind of there is a lot of camaraderie, but you're only basically for Big Finish. You get your script, you go in, you sit in the green room, you go into the studio and do your bits, and then that's it over 2 days. It's usually a 4-episode story is recorded over 2 days. For a TV episode, it would take, 3 or 4 parts actually. We used to take 4 weeks. So we'd go in, we'd rehearse, we had the luxury of rehearsals for a week. Then we'd have a producer run at the end of the week where John Nathan Turner would come and with the cameraman, the head cameraman, and they'd check it all out that it was all going to work. And then we'd go into studio for sort of 2-3 days, and then come back to rehearsals, and then do the second studio block. So you can see that there was a lot more opportunity to kind of get to know each other, to really kind of, and to really in a way develop the part, to develop the character, to have ideas, to think about, you know, how we really wanted to portray this particular story. So I'm going to have to say TV for that reason, but I do love audio as well. Yeah.
Good stuff. Any more?
Someone at the back there.
Right.
If people at the back have questions, maybe you better come up to the
Yes,
front.
That's a good idea.
Thank you.
Is it how many people do you share your birthday with in Doctor Who? Because I know it's Sylvester, Anthony Ainley and James Masters. Are there any more than that?
Well, yes, that's bizarre, isn't it? I remember the very first day that I met Sylvester, we found out we had the same birthday, and then blow me if Anthony Ainley didn't pipe up, and then James Masters, and my mum. She's not in Doctor Who, but she had something to do with producing Doctor Who. Yeah, very odd. The 20th of August must have had lots of funny stuff going on with the stars.
You talked a bit earlier about meeting Elizabeth Sladen and meeting her through Are there any other the former doctors and former companions that you've met and become friends with thanks to having worked on the show, like through the convention teams and that sort of thing?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, all of them. And it's so wonderful doing the convention circuit for that reason. You're meeting all the people who I grew up watching. For example, when Katie Manning, I remember watching Jo Grant as a child and feeling very sort of protective towards her in a weird kind of way. You know, she's that sort of sweet character, isn't she? And I still do with Katie, because she's blind as a bat. She, you know, she's mad as a box of frogs, and she, you know, she occasionally needs a bit of, you know, taking in hand. But she's a very, very dear friend of mine. Louise Jameson, you know, Leela was another character who I loved growing up, and again, just become very, very good friends with her. I think Tegan, Janet Fielding, Perry, Nicola Bryant, you know, all the companions. And sadly, you know, Carrie John, Debbie Watling, Mary Tam. I think because we share something, you know, we have this common understanding of what it's like to be a Doctor Who companion. It's wonderful. In fact, even in the more modern era, I was going to Big Finish to record, I can't remember what it was, a companion chronicle, I think it was. And I arrived a bit early, and I was sitting in the green room, and they said, "Oh, sorry, the person before you is not finished yet, so we'll wait for them to come out." And lo and behold, and they said, "Oh, who is it?" Who's, you know, thinking it might be like Nicola or somebody. And they said, "Oh, it's Karen Gillan. She's doing her first something or other." I said, "Oh my God! Oh, Karen Gillan, amazing! Wow, fantastic!" And I said, "Oh, I wonder if she'd give me her autograph." And, anyway, she eventually walks out through the studio door, and she takes one look at me. She goes, "Oh my God, it's him!" And she bent down and through her ankle. And anyway, it turns out that her mum is a massive Doctor Who fan, and she brought her up on Doctor Who. So she'd seen, you know, she absolutely loved Ace. And she said, "Can I have my photo taken with me?" It's so funny. I was thinking exactly the same thing. So, yeah. So it's a, you know, it's a thing. We all love each other.
Well, we've got time for one more question. I think it's the lady here. We've got to wrap it up, right?
Just when you were talking about the like the feminism thing, how do you feel about the Doctor being a woman now, and you know, the influence that it might have on young girls?
Good one to end with.
Oh, I can just say one word really. Wicked.
Yeah. So, everyone.